Everywhere you look, people are chasing security, a monthly paycheck, a stable job, a salary. It sounds safe. You give your time, your energy, your skills, and in return, you get a fixed number on your bank app every month. But what if I told you that number, that stability, is the very thing holding most people back from ever building wealth? Because in the real world, security often kills growth. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the truth about salary and commission and why I personally think that commission builds wealth faster than salary. See, with a salary, your time is your product. You trade hours for income. No matter how skilled you are, how ambitious you are, you're still limited to the same 24 hours a day. You work hard, your paycheck comes in, and life goes on. Rent, bills, and maybe a little left to save. And that's it. The harder you work, the more you might earn, but only to a certain point because you're not paid for your value, you're paid for your presence. And once you stop showing up, the money stops too. That's the trap. A salary convinces you that you're safe, when in reality, you're replaceable. One bad quarter, one company restructure, one decision from the top, and that security disappears overnight. And yet society praises this path. They tell you, go to school, get a job, work hard, climb the ladder. They tell you it's the responsible way. But no one tells you the truth that the ladder you're climbing might be leaning on the wrong wall. Commission, on the other hand, is a different game. It's unpredictable, it's unstable, and that's exactly why it builds wealth. Because commission shifts your focus from time to results. You're not paid for showing up, you're paid for creating value, for selling, for moving the needle. It teaches you something a salary never will: ownership. When you work in commission, you learn to take responsibility for your results. You stop blaming the economy, your boss, your schedule. You either perform or you don't get paid. It's tough, yes, but that toughness is the foundation of freedom. Every entrepreneur, every millionaire, every person who's ever built real wealth has lived through that commission phase in some form. So, why do I say commission builds wealth? Well, the thing is, commission rewards risk, and risk is the price of freedom. See, most people don't want it because it feels uncomfortable. They'd rather get a guaranteed £2,000 a month than maybe earn £10,000 depending on performance. But the truth is, every person you admire for their wealth took that maybe and turned it into more than enough. Commission teaches you real skills: persuasion, negotiation, consistency, emotional control. You start thinking like an owner, not an employee. You begin to understand business, margins, customers, results, the real mechanics of wealth. And once you grasp that mindset, you can scale it anywhere, whether it's sales, marketing, real estate, or your own product. Commission introduces you to something most people never experience: scalability. Let me give you an example. I used to work in door to door sales for a gas and electricity company, and the deal was quite simple. For every sale you made, that's £50 in commission you'd earn. So if you made one sale a day, that's £50 a day. And by the end of the week, you'd be making £250. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If you made three sales a day, that's £150 daily. And by the end of the week, you'd be making £750. You see the difference? Same amount of time, but just by adding two extra customers a day, and your income triples. That's the power of scalability. You're no longer paid for your time, you're paid for your output. When you're paid a salary, your income is linear, but when you're paid a commission, your income is exponential. And beyond that, there's something called override commissions. That's when you not only earn from your work, but from the work of others you've trained or built a system around. When you're on a salary, even if you get promoted, your income barely changes. Maybe you're on £20,000 a year, and with a promotion, you go to 25,000, maybe 30 if you're really lucky. That's how salaries work. They grow by a small percentage. It's slow, predictable, and controlled. Commission is different. With every level you climb, your income doesn't add, it multiplies. When you start moving up the ranks and you unlock override commissions, your income could jump in a way that a salary never could. Because now you're not just earning from the sales that you make. You're earning from the sales of the people you train, the people under you, the team that you're leading. Imagine this: you used to make money from your own 10 sales a day, but now everyone under you is making their own 10 sales a day, and you're earning a percentage from every single one of them. That's not a 2% raise. That's not a little extra. That's your income multiplying 5 times, 10 times, sometimes even more. It's basically leverage, the same concept that powers businesses, investments, and generational wealth. You're no longer limited to your own output because you're building systems that pay you even when you're not there. That's how wealth is created, not through fixed effort, but through scalable value. So here's the truth: salary gives you comfort, while commission gives you growth. Salary buys you predictability, while commission builds your power. If you really want to build wealth, you need to step into the uncertain. You need to trade comfort for control because only then will you realize that the game was never about money. It was about ownership of your time, your results, and your life.